Hello and welcome back to the Old Realms and our vampire NECRARCH. And I think we're probably getting to a point where we may want to create a different character. Maybe. Let me know what you think in the comments about that and what you might like to see in the Old Realms as a character class. And do bear in mind that I have played as the original vampires. I have played as a Bretonnian damsel, and I've also played as an Empire character with a focus on gunners and cannons and things like that. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and we're going to obviously try to take this town. I did actually do a siege off screen because it was, well, it was just a castle basically. And it was super funny because we almost lost it. Yes, I know, really funny, right? Because we've been extremely powerful so far. We've basically been almost unstoppable. But the main hilarity that was actually happening at the time was the fact that when we went in, the vampires just friendly fired every single one of our troops, basically, almost. They literally just killed about 800 of our troops in about, well, the first 10 seconds, I think. Yeah, the first 10 seconds. And it was hilarious because they literally just made us almost lose, which was quite funny. But anyway, there you go. Ooh, nice hit. Yeah, now, there is actually something I wanted to talk about because someone mentioned in the comments that well, basically, you were asking a question. You're asking whether there was a way for us to reduce damage taken in our career options tree. How did I miss that, by the way? Is there an actual range to this? I think there might be a range to this ability. Oh, well, never mind. Anyway, you're asking whether there is a way for us to reduce damage taken to ourselves through the career tree or something along those lines, because I'm obviously dying from a lot of friendly fire, you know, because let's face it, I am actually killing myself quite a lot with my career ability. Obviously, I find that quite funny, but I can understand if you are trying to help and, you know, all that stuff. Now, I have taken a look at the career tree, and I couldn't remember where I saw it, but then I realized, actually, you know what? It's in the spellcraft tree. So it is a perk in the spellcraft tree. And so basically what I'd be able to do is, if I wanted to, I could respec, and I would be able to then take the perk, because I've actually taken the other perk in that same line, which basically allows me to deal 30% less damage to my own troops. Now, obviously, 30% less damage is not really going to save most of them. For example, if I were to attack these guys right here with my career ability, I would probably kill all of them in one hit, whether I had 30% reduction or not. So that's obviously a pretty big deal. Whereas the other selection, which I now am going to actually tell you, is a 90% damage reduction to yourself. So if you do want to, you know, reduce damage taken to yourself through the use of your own spells and so on and so forth, then yes, it is literally the second perk line in the spellcraft tree. So basically, as far as I'm aware, I think that is that spellcraft 50 or is that spellcraft 75 or 100 or something along those lines? I'm actually not entirely sure what level of spellcraft you need, but it is very minuscule, let's just say that. And look at what I actually did right now. I literally hit the wall over here, right? And funnily enough, I killed one of our own barons, which is quite hilarious. I don't understand how that was even possible, but I guess it's just because we are having a relatively amazing scaling. We do have some pretty high scaling right now. And that's actually a pretty big deal. Let's face it. I feel like that's a pretty big deal. I actually almost killed myself as well, but yes, as I said, there is a perk that we can take that will reduce our damage taken by 90%, which I gotta say is looking pretty tempting. You know, it's looking pretty tempting right now, because obviously the 30% to our allied troops is not really gonna save them, but the 90% might actually save me. Although, you know, to be fair, I think maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know, because we are dealing such a significant amount of damage. It may just, well, save us for one usage, I guess, maybe. It very much depends on if we've been, you know, taking any damage after that. But yeah, well, whatever the case, it doesn't really matter. We can basically just summon a couple of people here. Unfortunately, it looks as though the... well, we're going to see if we can actually get a couple of level ups, maybe? I'm actually not entirely sure what's going on with my spellcraft. Why is it not leveling up anymore? Oh well, never mind. I guess it is just going to take a little bit of extra time here. And I'm just going to speed things along. And we should be good. And this is going to be our next town that we have indeed taken. And I'm not even... what's really funny about this is that I'm actually not trying to get the AI to help me anymore. I was actually doing that initially because I thought to myself, oh yeah, that's probably going to be a pretty nice thing to do because let's face it, you know, the AI sometimes is relatively useless. They do tend to run around in pretty much, you know, dead ends a lot of the time, and it's sometimes a good idea to give them a little bit of guidance here and there. Unfortunately for me, though, there does seem to be one enemy in this area here. Ah, there we go, never mind. Okay, they finally killed him. Alright, that is hilarious. Wow, that actually took a huge amount of time, surprisingly enough, just because there's one unit that's stuck in the environment or something like that. But yes, anyway, there we go. We were able to take him out, and we can now just rescue a couple of these guys. I mean, well, not rescue, so to speak, but it's more like just recruiting them because they're just getting summoned out of thin air pretty much. But yes, anyway, there we have it, and that is it. That's great. That's wonderful. And you know, just bear in mind that obviously I'm not really going to be using a melee weapon or anything with this character. There's really no point. You know, if I go into melee, I'm probably going to be dying anyway, so most of the time it's not really going to be something I'm looking for. So if you do see a sword or a mace or, well, anything that you think I can use in the inventory of loot that we see, that stuff doesn't really interest me at the moment. You know, it's just literally not going to provide us any value whatsoever, which is obviously fine for a normal character. Like, for example, I mean, you can see here, look at what I've actually prioritized right now. I have obviously not prioritized my close combat at all, and if I wanted to, I obviously would have done that already. Unfortunately, as you can see right here, I don't have enough endurance to be able to level up my athletics or riding skill anymore. And if I had been able to get endurance to 7, then this would have been fantastic. This would have been really, really good. But obviously I was prioritizing getting spellcraft leveled up, and this is the perk that I'm talking about. It is a 50th, yes, 50th level perk. So basically spellcraft 50, and that's very, very easy, as you can see right here. And the only reason why I actually took well controlled is not really for the 30% less damage to troops, because, well, let's face it, I'm not really doing any damage to my troops most of the time, and if I do damage to them, they are just going to get killed instantly. But the main reason why I took that is to gain a 5% advantage in simulation battles. And the main reason why that is because obviously I've been doing a huge amount of auto-resolves in the course of me playing this character, because I've had to do a lot of grinding on beastmen and so on and so forth. But yeah, selfish is definitely the way to go. So I'm thinking I'm going to besiege this town, and once we besiege this town, we're going to go in to the arena, and I'm going to respec my perk selections. And those perk selections are obviously going to be, well, pretty much the same, apart from the fact that we're going to get that 90% damage reduction to ourselves. And for me personally, I feel like, you know what? Maybe it's going to be really, really effective. Yeah, that's not actually something you see every single day, is it? Look at that. The AI actually decided to join us and indeed take down the walls. That's the rare thing that's actually happened here. Not the fact that the AI joined us, obviously, but yeah, anytime the AI takes down the walls, I'm always a little bit suspicious, because I never think to myself, okay, well, what's actually going on here? Usually they never do that, you know? Usually they're very, very weird when it comes to dealing with the walls. And I guess we're going to see. And now, oh yeah, this is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yes. Okay, let me actually just summon my skeletons here. I'm literally just going to summon skeletons right on top of them. And I will probably just do this. Yeah, I want to be very, very careful. I actually want to be super, super careful here. I'm actually going to be telling my infantry to charge in here because I want to be hyper aggressive about this. And, well, I do want to obviously get... Woo, yeah, we're losing a lot of people thanks to the vampires casting their spells and everything, but, you know, that's just how it is. That is just how it is. Let me see if I can actually get in here without dying. Okay, not bad. Can I actually open this on my horse? No, I cannot. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I was thinking to myself, yeah, there's no way they're going to let me open the gate on my horse, right? Yeah, no. They do not. Okay, let me see here. Let me just do this. Okay, that literally didn't even kill all of them. Wow, okay, that was really badly done on my part. My bad. Oh well, never mind. We still have some mana here, so I should be able to cast some additional things. Let's get my Screaming Skull out here. Nice. There we go. That did some pretty good damage, I gotta say. Not bad. I kind of wish there were more enemies. Ah, there we go. We got some more enemies coming in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be very, very careful here. I'm going to shoot him now. Boom. Did I almost kill myself? Well, no, I actually got hit by something else that was not me, so that's nice. Because otherwise, I think I probably would have died if it was me, but yeah. Anyway, let's just do this. Nice. Another bunch of kills right there. And yeah, this is actually fun. You see, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about that is really, really fun. Being able to get into the walls and actually getting some nice, you know, some nice killing sprees going on with a bunch of spells being flung at the opponent. You know, all that kind of stuff is really, really enjoyable and satisfying to me in comparison to staying outside the walls and basically just being some random, you know, just sticking out there, not really doing too much, and just kind of, you know, casting a couple of spells on people at the walls and things like that. And yeah, that's not as fun. That's not as fun. That's the reason why, in general, I'd recommend, and this is going to be something that maybe you haven't done yet, because maybe you haven't played as the vampires, or maybe you're thinking about playing another character, you know, before you play a vampire, or something like that. This is for those people that haven't played as the vampires yet. If you're thinking about playing as a vampire character, I would highly recommend playing as the von Karstein vampire family first, the career of that first, because they're the ones that can transform into bats, as far as I remember, and they are the ones, in my opinion, that are going to be the most fun to play as, despite the NECRARCH being able to very quickly and easily eliminate all of the troops at Brass Keep, for example, because let's face it, we've seen that, you know, they have, you know, our character is able to eliminate large amounts of enemy troops. However, as I've already also stated, they are very, very limited when it comes to their mobility and very limited when it comes to their survivability. And both of these things coupled basically make it so that the other career option, the one where you can transform into bats, that one is absolutely 100% preferential if you want to have the, shall we say, if you want to have the strong, powerful vampire fantasy, as it were. You know, if you want to do it that way, if you want to have that kind of, you know, that kind of effect to playing as a vampire, then that is highly recommended in comparison. Because the way that the NECRARCH plays, it is very much more a standard-ish spellcaster with some very, very cool necromantic sort of RP, sort of like, you know, feel to it. And obviously, as you can quite clearly tell, I mean, look at how cool we look. We look really, really cool with the NECRARCH armor on and everything. You know, it's got that power fantasy about it. It's got the class fantasy about it, and generally, that's very, very fun. But as I say, if you're looking for a little bit more, you know, a little bit more something, a little bit more mobility, survivability, whatever, then the other vampire is definitely going to be what you're looking for in that regard. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is for me, a different attribute, discipline, spellcraft. It's going to cost me 8,000. That's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. This is basically how you respec perks, by the way, if you don't know already. I know a bunch of, I always get questions about this for some reason. I don't know. I've done this in quite a few series, but there you go. That is how you do it. It's very, very simple, and I actually really like the fact that the base game implemented this, because without this, it would be, I don't know. I personally like it quite a bit. Anyway, we'll just do this, and then I'm going to be getting Selfish. There we go. And we are also probably going to be getting something like... I actually think that Storyteller would probably be better for us right now, even though gaining double experience from reading books is definitely a fantastic perk. I personally think that this is really, really good, and if you're going to be learning new lores and, you know, you're going to be spending a lot of money or trying to spend a lot of money on new spells and things like that, and, you know, obviously reading books too, this is far and away the much better perk. But I think I'm going to actually go for this, because I wouldn't mind, you know, leveling up my companions a little bit, see how that goes. And then obviously we have Overcaster and Efficient Spellcaster. I haven't actually shown you these perks before because I actually leveled this up off screen. But basically these are, you know, very self-explanatory. You can see here, your damaging spells do 20% less damage, but also cost 30% less Winds of Magic. I personally don't care about the cost of things, so I took Overcaster because this means that I do 20% more damage, but it costs 30% more. So I took Overcaster for that reason, and we're otherwise just going to be getting that. Now, there are a bunch of other things that you can do, like, for example, you can take, you know, Improvisation, which is basically, Improvision. Sorry, Improvision. Yeah, so in other words, your Winds of Magic is set to 25 if you have less than that at the beginning of the battle. Now, that could be very, very impactful if you have a spell that can regenerate Winds of Magic for you in some way or another that costs less than 25, or, you know, 25 or less, that is. But from a general use case perspective, I feel like this is a pretty weak perk in comparison to Catalyst. I think Catalyst is really, really good, because as you can see, for every magical item in your equipment slots, you gain +5 extra Winds of Magic at the start of battle. So if you have 4, 5, you know, 6 magical items, you're going to be gaining extra Winds of Magic, and you should technically then have more or about the same that Improvision gives you. And you also get 20% additional Winds of Magic regeneration, unless that's not how it works, of course. And then, of course, we have Arcane Link here. Any buffs you cast, this is all about buffs. Now, this is actually a pretty cool thing. Dampener actually provides you with less damage done by your spells, and troops in your formation take 30% less damage from spells too. So technically, if you were to take Well Controlled and this, you would be getting a stacking 60% damage reduction in how much damage you deal to your own people, which is pretty good, but obviously it is only in your own formation, so obviously that's a thing. And then obviously we have this, which is the final perk in the Spellcraft tree, which is all physical damage done by your weapons is doubled and dealt again as magical damage. That is kind of insane, and that's the reason why it is obviously a 300th level perk. That is an extremely powerful perk, and generally, if you're playing, I don't even know what would be good with this. Probably the bat form vampire, some kind of hybrid class, something like that. And yeah, It's probably the way to go. Anyway, we have now taken this, and as you can see, we have completely and utterly destroyed... Oh, hello. Oh, they apparently had taken one of our fiefs. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, have they? Have they taken one of our fiefs? I think they have. That's kind of interesting. All right, so yeah, I guess we're going to go over here and try to take this back. And this is what's remarkably funny to me as well, because I can literally just go over here, and I feel relatively, and this is funny, I'm not sure if this is actually cool or not, but I feel relatively confident about going in here and actually achieving victory. I don't feel like we have anything really super big to worry about, and I'm not sure whether that is because we're consistently being helped by friendly AI, because obviously friendly AI helping us out with over 2,000 troops, that kind of inspires a little bit of extra, you know, gusto or, you know, courage or whatever, because let's face it, you know, if you have huge amounts of troops like that helping you, well, you're probably going to be pretty fine, right? You're probably going to be pretty fine. So yeah, that's obviously a thing. Is he actually coming over here? No, he's not. So we're basically going to go in by ourselves by the looks of things. I am actually going to be bombarding the walls, though, because I personally feel like once the walls are down, everything just becomes so much simpler for us. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that. Why is this horse so slow? Did you notice that in the previous little engagement that we had? It was moving around very slowly, and I'm actually not entirely sure why. But yes, I think I will probably use this Empire Warhorse instead. There we go. That sounds pretty good. Okay, so we have a bit of a problematic situation on our hands here. I literally just deployed a large number of trebuchets, and they were bombarding the walls, and now Sylvania has decided to make peace with Ostermark, and that is obviously not very good. Yes, that is actually kind of annoying, because now now we have to go over there. But funnily enough, and this is what I find super funny, I don't know why they decided to do this, because look at Sylvania right now. Sylvania has 10,000 in combat strength, and if you take a look at Ostermark, you can see here that they are obviously paying a tribute. Of course, I mean, you know, that is just, you know, to be expected, obviously, because they are very much losing the war. But what I don't understand is, why do we stop? Because look at this faction here too. Hochland, they have literally two towns, one castle. We would be able to take these in a snap of the fingers, basically, right? Snap of the fingers. But unfortunately, yeah, that is indeed just how it goes. I don't really want to break the peace agreement, because they could potentially kick me out. That is a potential thing that could happen, because I am just a mercenary, you know. I'm not actually a proper vassal or anything like that. So, you know, being a mercenary, they can kick me out of the faction, and so I don't really want to chance it, shall we say. I don't really want to chance it multiple times there. But yeah, as you can see, this is obviously kind of annoying, because, I mean, look at how many things we have helped them take. We've literally helped them take all of these things right here, and then we swept all the way down over here too. But now they are asking us to go over here, and this is... I actually don't even know, to be honest. I really don't even know what is even going through their minds here, because this is such a weird detour. But anyway, that's exactly the point. The AI is, I don't know. They tend to do this stuff, don't they? They tend to do this stuff. Anyway, that is probably going to be it for this episode, and indeed maybe for this series too. I'm going to see what other career options we have available in the mod. And by all means, I'm going to be checking out, you know, comments as well. So if you do have some suggestions and things like that, then I'll definitely be taking a look at those. And if you have anything fun, exciting, you know, to suggest, then, you know, don't be shy. You know, just tell me, and then I'll see what I can do. And maybe we'll check them out, because there are so many really good play styles in this mod. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want to play it for yourself, there is a link in the description to the Steam download page, as well as to the, I think it's the ModDB page as well. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.